What's up, everybody? It's Tim, aka DJ High Noon, aka your friendly neighborhood vinyl dude. So anyway, you see some Genesis records behind me. There's even Genesis playing in the background. Why? Well, I'm a big fan. Not the biggest fan. That goes to the distinct honor from my brother from another, Bill at the Vinylverse. So. Bill just recently hit 700 subs, 2 years in the VC. Bill and I actually started around the same time in the VC. I think it was like a month apart or something like that. So we kind of grew up in the VC together. And that's not the only similarity that we have. We'll talk about that in a minute. So Bill's asked a couple questions to celebrate his 2 years, 700 subs, and there's even some bonus stuff. So let's get right into it. Stop dilly-dallying around before I lose you guys. So question one, how did you discover the VC? What brought you into the VC? So I've mentioned it before, but I'm a gamer. I think it's once a gamer, always a gamer, but I played a lot of video games. And as things were changing in the house, we were trying our best to get our oldest out of the house to free up some space in our home. We were going to create like a media room, and I thought it would be cool to have like a TV in there where I and my youngest could play games from time to time and just kind of like be away from everything. And I was looking at ideas for game rooms essentially, but I was going to incorporate, you know, the movie collection in there and the CD collection in there, and at that time my somewhat regrowing vinyl collection. It wasn't a lot, and I was just kind of digging here and there. But anyway, so I was looking on YouTube and I was watching these yard sale finds for video games, and I was debating on where I wanted to go with my collection and stuff like that. And searching room tours, I saw Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. He did a room tour of his music. Obviously, he doesn't really, I mean, if he collects video games, he never shows them. He's mainly into music. So that just kind of, it just blew my mind apart. And I was like, wow, what a way to really encapsulate my true passion, music. So I started watching Mr. Hall of Fame. And I started, I think I found Nas Nomad really early. And there was a few others that was like, I discovered pretty quickly. And then they kept talking about the VC, and the vinyl community. And I'm like, well, I started searching that. And it just became this rabbit hole I was going down for months. Discovered Andy Borders. If you're watching this, we miss you, we love you. Continue good health, come back when you can. And I would see like Bill, Helmet Diggy, again, love you, miss you, come back when you can. And I was starting to see more and more of these people, and the urge just to comment started to rise. And, it just continued to snowball. Commenting led to, hey, you should get on the camera, and strong encouragement and great words. And one day I did, and just it felt right, and there it was. So just kind of searching the idea of what I wanted to do with our space to kind of encapsulate everything that we loved. We've since abandoned that idea because the house we're in right now, we have a living room. It's like a separate family room, dining room together. That's where the records go, and the spare bedroom. Our original plans were to turn it into a Zen room for my wife. Not really quite sure what it's going to be now. You know, it could be that her mom could be moving in. Anyway, another whole topic. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? So, question number 2. And I'll be right back. So, question 2. Share something that you picked up because of a VC video. I grabbed 3. So the first one that jumped to my mind, and it's not just one person in particular. It was, I'd say it was a few people that were really talking about this band and were really kind of hyping them up and really just saying, you know, man, you're missing out if you're not checking them out. And that was King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. So several albums were mentioned, but one of the first ones I picked up was this one, I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, and I was hooked. This was a band that I had no knowledge of before somebody mentioned it in the VC. Like I said, I don't remember who it was I saw first, but I saw a few people mention it, and I can't get enough. It's modern day psychedelic music with a garage twist. Sometimes folk, and in their most recent album, sometimes thrash. They also dabble with a little bit of electronic. They're very prolific, they're not afraid to take chances, and usually it pays off. So, would have never discovered this band according to the VC. And that's kind of how I took it. It wasn't like, oh, I would have picked up this Stones album or Zeppelin album. Well, you're kind of familiar with those. I really took it as you were just blindsided with what someone had to say and you decided to run with it. And this is another one. And this is the Ahmad Jamal Trio, but not for me. Andrew from Tales of the Crate, who has one of the most incredibly curated jazz collections here in the VC, and is just super knowledgeable about it. When he talks jazz, I listen. And I was dabbling my toe in it. I've experimented with jazz, but I'm always on the lookout for more. I mean, my jazz collection is basically a fart in the wind. And I'm looking to grow it, so I'm always looking for something that catches my ear, and then it's like, well, if I like this, then look at the players, and it's kind of how you go with jazz. But this was a name I had never really heard, and it's piano jazz, so I was like, I prefer a little bit more trumpet or saxophone, but he said, hey, bang for your buck, they're pretty inexpensive for the most part. If you see a Ahmad Jamal, pick them up. Next time I went digging, I did in like a $2 section or something like that, and I gave it a shot, and I was hooked. So again, somebody that I had no knowledge of, there wasn't anything on the radar for me about this, and absolutely loved it. Ahmad Jamal, thank you, Andrew. And then the last one I thought of, which is actually probably one of the first ones I thought of, and it's on CD. We wouldn't need to get it on wax. Is this one. This is Stephen Wilson, The Raven Who Refused to Sing. Prague people know this. Prague people should know this. This is the gospel when it comes to modern day Prague, as far as for a pretty intelligent masterpiece. I was clueless. I love Prague music, but to me, I didn't think that Prague was still being made like this in the 2010 decade or the 2000s decade. Little did I know it was alive and well. I just had to go look for it. So Andy Borders showed this. He actually bought it on a whim, and he had a wonderful series he was doing for a little bit with his wife, where they would listen to an album for 7 days separately and kind of get together and discuss it. And this was one that they discussed. And Andy and I have pretty similar tastes when it comes to Prague, and he was mentioning every damn note I could have possibly thought that had me salivating for this. So had to pick it up to give it a go. This album, upon first listen, made it probably into my top 25 albums of all time. That's how powerful this hit me. And because of this, I've discovered, pineapple, Porcupine Tree, Pineapple Thief and Porcupine Tree, two close bands. Porcupine Tree and No Name and more of Steven Wilson, and I'm continuing to grow that collection. But this is where it started, and again, had no knowledge of it. So, thank you. This was really a life changer. So let's move on to question number 3. All right, so question number 3. Show a favorite album. I know what you all are thinking. He's going to show Hendrix. DJ Shadow. Y'all know I like them. I could have just reached behind and go, here's Hendrix, and it'd be a favorite. But I wanted to show one that I don't talk about as much. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. To me, this is a masterpiece. This is my favorite Marvin Gaye album. This is in my top 10 of all time. This was Marvin Gaye's coming of age, where he said, not to be cliche, what's going on? Here was this soulful singer who was hitting the charts, doing it right, and then he looks around one day and says, it's not enough. I have to say something. The very first time, I was aware of the song What's Going On for a long time, but the very first time I heard this whole album, I was moved. It was very emotional. And here he is, he put it all out there. And to me, it was a very risque move because, yeah, you had artists who were taking a stance, but he was cranking out these hits, and he just really created a masterpiece of the times that still to this day holds true. The words, the notes, the passion, the feeling, it's still all there. So even though he's gone, he's left us with this amazing masterpiece of an album. And I couldn't imagine a collection being complete without it. Truly my favorite Marvin Gaye. Like I said, top 10 of all time. Marvin Gaye is What's Going On. I love this album. I spin it regularly. I usually spin it alone because I never know if it's going to get me emotional again. But I truly do love this album. And then question 4 was give a couple shout outs. I have so many friends here. I see Brad from H2 Vinyl, seems like regularly because we live in the same town. We go digging a lot, of all the people that I've had a chance to meet recently, Billy Hurst and Super Wes and his husband Chris, Alex from Alex Spins Vinyl. I feel like I'm missing so many. One of the craziest, biggest meetups of all time. Ron Haggerty, Steve from Value Vinyl, Red at Redco Music. That was just a crazy day. I have friends who I haven't met. Obviously, Bill from the Vinylverse, Jeff Kempen, Rob at Black Star Vinyl. People that I would, also I'd love to meet. John, the Digital Gramophone, Andrew Tales from the Crate, who I mentioned earlier, Andy Borders. There's just so many of you. No, Mazzy. Could you imagine just sitting around drinking with Mazzy? But I want to call out one other, and he's a great guy, and he had to take a bit of a hiatus, and he's back. He's kind of catching his groove again, and he is just one of the nicest people, and he doesn't have nearly enough subs, and that's Roger, Jolly Roger. nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's from Texas, listens to, country rock. He loves the Eagles and CCR, so he's got he's got that down home Southern stuff covered. But he listens to other things. He's into some of that heavier stuff. He's just all over, and that's what makes it great, is that he does show diversity. And he's very knowledgeable, and he's very well spoken. And when I saw he was back making videos again, whether it lasts for a couple months or not, I was super happy. Just like I was excited when Brian at Shamrock and Records came back. It's the diversity that make these people great. So I mentioned a few. I mean, I could keep going. I mean, I could go for days with people that I absolutely adore. Eric Weinbender, Bev at Clark Vision. Just keep going. But do yourself a favor. If you're watching a video, whether it's this one or Bill's or Melinda Murphy's or Hannah, the Omaha introvert, whoever, scroll down and look through the comments. If you see someone's name you don't know, click on it. See what they have. And take a look. You might meet your new best friend. That's how I met Bill. I joked earlier that Bill and I have a lot in common. We love Genesis. We love prog. We tease each other. Well, I don't say we tease each other, but I call a lot of people my brother. It's just how I am. It's how I was raised. But Bill feels like the brother I never knew I had. It almost feels like we were separated at birth. We could have been. We could be related. I don't know. We could be twins. And I say that jokingly. I only half. Because we were born on the same day. Not, oh, you were born in X year and I was born in Y year. No. We were born on the same day. Same day. Same day. So, he kind of feels like that long lost brother to me. So no, that's not it. That's not it. Wait, what am I doing? He asked a bonus question. He asked of the modern era, because Genesis going back on tour. Phil, Mike, Tony, for some reason you're watching this for no good reason. The U.S. loves you too. Come here. Here. That being said, so Bill asked, in celebration of that, for a bonus giveaway, name his favorite Genesis album from the 3-member era. And for an extra entry into that giveaway, what's the favorite song off of that album? Well, as you saw, I wasn't trying to be subtle. I was changing some of the albums behind me. It's my Genesis collection. Not complete, it's getting there, getting pretty close. But there's one album I didn't show. And I bet you guys are thinking, it's Invisible Touch. No, I didn't show it, but that's not it. It's this one. Now, I hid the name because I want you guys to figure it out for yourself. As far as your favorite song, Bill, if I'm not mistaken, it would be the wife of what this album is named. He knows what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. If I'm right, then I really know what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to just give it to you. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know I have the album right. Absolutely know I have the album right. Why do I know this? Because the same damn song got us involved into Genesis. That's right. Born on the same day. Both love Genesis. And the single off of this one was Misunderstanding. He shot a video for it and everything. And I remember it to this day. And I remember when I heard it, I was like, I love this song. And I went out, probably with my allowance or something like that, and I bought the single for it. And it wasn't until a few years later that I heard the album in its entirety and absolutely loved it. Is it my favorite of the three-member era? No, but we're not here for me. We're here for Bill. That being said, Bill, I think you know exactly what I'm referring to, but I'm not going to just give it out to people. So, everybody, thanks for humoring me. I had to go long, because this is truly my brother Bill. And he does feel like a brother to me. We talk regularly. We talk a lot. As I do with a few members, and always expanding that. But it seems like Bill and I, we really do have this quick connection. Again, came in around the same time. And you want to talk about a great class. It was me, Steve Carlson, Bill, and Jeff Kempen. I mean, we kind of were like right in that same era of starting. So what a great class. I mean, I feel honored to be in those group of guys. And Bill and I really hit it off. I mean, we were just like, you love prog, I love prog, and jazz, and rock. And then one day it was like, wait, you were born on when? What year? No. So, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're not subscribed to Bill, shame. Click the link below and go do it. I'll also leave a link to Jolly Roger's channel because he's a hell of a guy. Please, let's go give him some more subs. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm shutting the hell up now. I'm going to edit this and I'm going to bed. Lickety split. Talk to you later, everybody. Love you. Peace.